Well, we had to run into them someday. Elevator Action is the first Famicom game with development by Micronix. I can, have, and will say a lot of terrible things about Tosei, but Micronix really is the bottom of the barrel. The thing is, Elevator Action might be their best work on the system. It pretty closely resembles Taito's arcade game, and if you played it for only 5 or 10 minutes, you might not realize that there's something wrong here. Elevator Action is about a spy who enters a building at its top floor and has to get to his car at the bottom. Along the way, you enter these red doors to collect intelligence, and while you're doing that, enemy spies emerge from other doorways to shoot at you. You'll primarily have to use the elevators to get around the building, though there are some escalators too. The elevators are both a help and a hazard. You can ride on the roof of an elevator car, but you risk getting squished by the ceiling. Also, you can't duck while you're in an elevator, so you might not be able to shoot an enemy before they shoot you. You can jump over an empty elevator shaft, but not an elevator shaft that has the cable in it. So only when the elevator is above you. Of course, you can also use the elevators to squish the enemy spies, but if you're underneath one and they're coming down, well, that's not supposed to happen. That's Micronix for you. If you miss any of the red doors on your trip through the building and reach the car, you get sent back up to the highest red door you didn't open. Shooting out the light seems like it might help you get through the building, but the only thing darkness gets you is a higher score when you shoot enemies. You can drop a light on them, though. Interacting with objects can be a little bit tricky. You have to stand on the little platform in front of the red door, face the door, and then you'll just enter it. And you'll remain in that room until you push the direction to walk out again. Open doors block shots too, so it can be helpful to time your exit. The escalators can be even more troublesome. You move on them by standing on the pad and pressing up or down. But let's say enemies emerge from the doors and start shooting as you're going down the escalator. You might want to press down immediately once you get to the bottom to crouch under the shot. Then you have to press up to stand up again. Except pressing up sends you up the escalator again. You can jump to break this cycle, but you're probably going to do this a few times before you get used to it. There's only 4 stages in Elevator Action, and the only difference between them is the color of the walls. The position of the red door, which elevator shaft leads to the basement, and if there's a double elevator in a shaft, those are all randomized every time. And that actually wraps it up here. I like the arcade Elevator Action a lot, but this is not a strong port. There's lots of bugs and quirks to it. It just doesn't feel quite right. We're going to see much worse done to much better games by Micronix, but this is not a good start.